Hello, and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever, presented by the Sideshow Network. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence that just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
And here we are again.
Yeah.
Dose Comics!
Yes, but we're also doing
Laptop Shouting.
Laptop Shouting. It's got to do it for this week. We'll be back next week from the studio, but this week we just...
Didn't work out.
Yeah, well, we have life.
Life?
You know, we have to handle our life, so we have to...
Yeah, I gotta live sometimes.
We gotta go to the store and...
Yeah, I gotta do bullshit.
Yeah.
Being an adult sucks. Like, it's awesome, but it also sucks. It's awesome because, like, I don't have to listen to my mom, but it sucks because, like, now I have to do shit. Like, I have to pay bills and, like, go grocery shopping.
And go to the doctor?
Yeah, like, go to the dentist and shit.
Ooh.
Like...
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
But here we are. So,
yep.
Nonetheless. So let's just hop right into it. We're gonna do, actually, a Secret Origins this week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because, I don't know, I have a few of these, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I've come across a few of these, and normally the way that we randomly pick books is I have this app on my phone called Sort It, which is what I input all of our comic books into to know what is what.
Right.
And, what I have, because I got tired of buying the same shit over and over again.
Right.
And I needed something to keep track, so this keeps track of it. And it's great. And it has an option on there where you can shake your iPhone or your iPad or whatever, and it will just generate a random book from your list. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, if we don't have something immediately just hanging out that we've decided to do, we'll just pick it that way. So we just do that, and it just happens that I've got quite a few of these Secret Origins. So why not do one of them?
Yeah.
So
what's that app called, by the way?
Sort It.
Sort It.
Sort It.
Sort It.
Yeah, it's all one word. You can look for it on I think if you put that in the App Store, it comes up. Mm. This is not an ad. It's just I just like using it. So
talking about the thing we use, which comes in very handy because I have a habit of buying comics that I already own.
Yeah.
Which is how I get 4 of the same Catwoman issues.
Well, also too, it's happened to me where I'll get burned because I'll look at an issue of something, and it's usually might be something I haven't read yet, but I just haven't gotten to yet. But I have a few of them, like for instance, like Death's Head. Mm-hmm. I have yet to finish reading all my Death's Head 2 books.
Right.
But a lot of them just look the same on the cover because it's the same. It's just the same kind of art style or whatever, and so they all kind of blend together. And I'm like, do I have this? Do I not have this? Right. And if I don't check, then I end up getting burned, by buying the same kind of book, know. So, and there's the thing with Catwoman. It's there's so many.
There's so freaking many of them because I'm trying to get all the Ballant run, and
you're pretty much doing the Ballant run, and you're doing
then I'm doing
the Brubaker.
The Brubaker run too. But with the Ballant one especially, there's I don't even know how many. At least almost 100.
There's over 100.
Over 100 of them, and I'm like, do I have this number? I don't know. So I end up buying the same ones over and over again.
Yeah. So.
Which is kind of a pain.
Well, some of them you buy over and over again because they have certain scenes.
Well, there's those I buy on purpose, though. There's only 2 of those, and I have multiple issues, and I refuse to get rid of them.
Well, right.
Because I bought them on purpose, and I realize I already have them, but I can't leave them in the dollar bar.
No, they're
just...
I
have to save them. They must be with me.
Yeah, they just hang them out. You're like, it's kind of like what was it? The show that Fire and Water guy.
Yeah.
So he talks. So if you're not familiar, there's a show called the Fire and Water Podcast, which is one guy. I think we've talked about it on the show before, but one guy talks about Firestorm, the other guy talks about Aquaman.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the Aquaman guy must be very excited to know that pretty much the Justice League movie is going to have
Aquaman.
50% Aquaman bullshit going on in it, so he is probably elated. He's probably taking a bath right now with his computer. So excited. Mm-hmm. But the Firestorm guy, he's funny because he's He's like, I'll just go to and see, look in the dollar box, I'll see a bunch of Firestorms. And I'm like, I can't leave these guys here.
I
and he's got to keep them. Like, he feels bad. Like, he just picks them up, like, what do you do with them? Do you just kind of have, like, a stack of, like, the same issue? Because the Firestorms are kind of a book that, like, you in most dollar boxes, if you're going to conventions or if you're going to your local store and all that stuff, and they sell those kind of, they have the dollar boxes, it's going to be in there.
Right.
It's like Alpha Flight.
Right.
Like Alpha Flight, there's certain books, from doing all the shopping that we do.
Oh my god, so many Alpha Flights.
Alpha Flight is one of those books where it's like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh man, because I want to collect it, but then it's like, I'll just see.
There's so many of them.
There's so many of them, and I'm like, I can't do it right now. Like, I don't want to buy, if I'm just going to literally go to the store and just buy Alpha Flight. Like, that's it, because you can go and you can literally, there's like, I have maybe 20, 30 maybe issues of it.
Sure.
And there's like 100 of the first run, not, the second stuff, but of the main run. And I mean, I could easily, it's like the Catwomans.
Oh yeah.
It's like, but I mean, for you, like, you're actively collecting Catwoman. Like, I'm actively collecting Alpha Flight, but I don't want to get crazy with it. Even though I do. One day I will. One day I will go cup crazy.
Yeah,
Canadian crazy with
have fun with that.
The Alpha Flight. But anyways, so Secret Origins.
Yeah.
So we're doing. Real quick, by the way, there is another podcast that just talks about Secret Origins.
Oh, I wonder what they have to say about this issue.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet.
They're probably going to have a much better opinion.
And less swearing.
Less swearing, and probably, you might learn something from that podcast.
You'll learn nothing from us.
Yeah, no, you don't learn anything from us because we don't do any research.
No, but here's the thing. All the research is already stuff that we've known, and we're not going our way to find out anything else additionally.
No. Because we're Americans, goddammit.
Okay.
And we don't like learning.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Oh, it took a very jingoistic turn this one.
It took a weird turn, sorry.
Should we get in our truck and drive off to the Chevys?
Yes, with
took
our
my Chevy to the levee, but the levee
was dry.
Was dry.
Yeah, friends in love places, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
So but I'm sure that whoever has the Secret Origins podcast does a much better job of giving you information.
Oh, I've heard it.
And insight.
They're actually people and that's the thing, because they had guest stars, and I kind of wish I was a guest star in one of those shows. However, I would just be like, hey, look at that dick, or,
yeah, see,
or hey, look at that thing.
Hence why we could never be invited anywhere.
Yeah, we can't do it.
No,
you want to know a funny story real quick? You haven't told you this yet. Okay, so one of my coworkers at the club, who I haven't seen him in a minute. He's one of the tech guys. He's the computer guys, and he came in. He's like, "Oh, hey, I listened to your podcast recently."
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah. What'd you think?" He's like, "Oh, a lot of swearing." Yeah, he goes like, "Oh, I was listening." I was like, "Oh, do you know any other words, curse words?"
No, we don't.
And I was like, "Oh no, I don't."
No, that is literally my only vocabulary.
I'm good with curse words.
Yeah.
I'm better with other words. I like words in general.
Yeah, I like words in general.
I studied for a GRE to get into grad school, which totally didn't matter.
Oh God, no.
I don't even know why, but I learned a lot of words.
Oh, I'm really glad.
It's pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I just kind of want to read a book of words and be like, I'm going to go out and start using these.
Maybe you should get one of those word-a-day calendars.
I can't wait a day to learn a word. I need to learn them all at once.
But then it would just be on your desk, you'd be like, whatever word this is today.
Oh, I would be such a pain in the ass if that was the case. I'd just be using that word in front of everybody and be like, endemic.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways.
So is that all that guy had to say? Was that we just swear too much?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. And I go, well, I gotta be me. I think that's what I said, and he didn't say anything else.
Well, that's about right. That's the accurate opinion of
He didn't think
podcast.
about you, though. He just said you. He said me.
Well, yeah.
He wasn't like, your wife swears a lot, too. I counted him.
She swears more. She does. So...
Or at least, we... Adult themes. If this podcast had to be on Cinemax, it would be out at 12:30.
And people would be so disappointed.
Oh man!
People would be like, "All right, we're
it'd be between
ready.
Best Sex Ever and fucking
that's the, okay, I'm
Love
gonna jack it. I can't wait to watch Cinemax.
Oh, I was 15-year-old Sean be really upset.
A jacket, but what the fuck are these two idiots doing talking about comic books?
It's like, hey, look at this issue of Nova I got.
There aren't any tits on this show.
It's like, wait a minute, where's the? It didn't say because you knew you were in for a good time.
Yeah.
When they came up with those things in the beginning, and you're like, oh yeah, all right.
What things?
The things with like sexual situations.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's usually how you know when the party's going to start.
I like the idea that somebody's actually waiting for something on Cinemax to jack off to instead of going on the internet where there's...
No, because you did this is before the internet.
Oh, yes, but I'm talking about now.
No, Cinemax actually cleaned it up. Cinemax is kind of...
Yeah, because they know the internet exists.
No, Cinemax actually apparently, and I don't watch Cinemax, and I think that they kind of scaled back on the smut.
Well, didn't they do that, Masters of Sex, or was that Showtime?
No, that was Showtime, but like they did like a bunch of series like The Nick and Strike Back and Banshee.
Oh, that's right, that weird...
Yeah.
I see that ad on buses.
That's the thing, but that's a Cinemax. Those are Cinemax shows, like Outcast, like Robert Kirkman has a show on Cinemax. Like, you're supposed to watch Cinemax for, like, real shows now.
Okay.
Which fuck no. I'm sorry. I'm only watching Cinemax for one thing. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm watching it for, the softcore, or I'm watching it for shitty horror movies that, I'm watching after 8 o'clock. I'm not fucking around during the day. I got very specific rules, guys.
Yeah. Got a lot of rage.
I have a lot of thoughts about that.
I noticed.
As a man from the 90s, as a grown man now.
90s man.
90s man. Anyways, you guys are like, talk about Secret Origins.
Talk about stupid comic book guys. All right.
Okay, so anyways, Secret Origins starring Batgirl and the Golden Age, Dr. Mid-Nite. Gotta make sure you guys Golden Age. So... And this is kind of thick, so I think we might kind of try to
we're gonna try to
plow through it a little bit here. But so we start off with Batgirl's origin, and basically she is following.
She's following somebody. Like she's like, oh, I gotta catch this guy. But as she's doing that, she's like talking about how she has like a photographic memory.
Yeah, apparently she has a photographic memory. So apparently she's like fucking like Mary Lou Hedder or some shit.
Yeah, but I believe that is true still about Batgirl. So she's like, oh. I've got to catch this guy.
Never get a face. So it's easy to remember faces.
Right.
It's not who cares?
So then, she's like, oh, man, I've got a photographic memory. I'm going to think about my mother who died.
So her mom does. So basically...
Then my dad cried, and I didn't think he was going to cry. Because even at, how old is she there? She's like 2. So even at 2, she's already
her mom died.
Soaked in the bullshit sexism that is. Because she's like, oh, men can't cry. And you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. So he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm a single dad because my mom died in a car accident.
Her mom died in a car accident because she was having too good of a time talking to her sister.
Yeah.
In a car. So she was like, ha ha ha, good times. And she ran a red light and was killed in a car accident.
Right. And Batgirl's like, oh
sucks.
Man, I wish I had a sister. I don't have any friends. She's like, but I can't let this guy get away from me because I've lost too much already. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, seriously, some dude you don't know escaping you is the same as your mother dying in a car accident, kiss my dick.
Yeah. She's as bad as Batman.
Really. This is just,
She comes off really, unstable.
Everybody in this fucking book is unstable.
Well, every comic book hero is pretty much unstable.
Especially DC heroes.
but she comes off, equal, Batman's crazy.
Oh yeah, she's off
right up there, and everybody's like, "Oh no, Batgirl's cooler than Batman." No, she's fucking crazy.
They're all fucking nuts, man. That's why she's hanging out with Batman because attracts I guess.
Yeah, and so basically, she
her and her friend.
So they're obsessed with superheroes.
Yeah, they were obsessed with superheroes, and so this is what I didn't understand: is her friend the one drawing these pictures? So they're like, oh, here's Batman.
No, they just
now
have
we're making a Batgirl. Here's Superman. Now we're going to make a Supergirl because these heroes don't exist yet.
Well, she draws a perfect representation of Batgirl.
Right, but Batgirl doesn't exist yet.
Marcy created both of them, but I became them. Okay, so they created. So
they're drawing. Oh, I'm going to be Batgirl.
And so they knew of the superheroes, and they drew pictures of what would be a brunette, a black-haired
female one,
black-haired Supergirl,
or whatever.
and then the actual Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and is that Quake Master back there?
I don't understand.
Quake Master, the dog, also Superman, the pink elephant.
Yes,
because she has like a bunch of toys.
Yeah,
She has a Flash. She drew a Flash.
She has a Flash.
The Flash is around then.
So she's her and her buddy are like, oh man, we love superheroes, and her dad's like, I'm a crazy drunk. Yeah. Don't call my brother Jim to ask for help. Slappy slap slap. And then so she cried, and then I guess her dad has to have some sort of operation to save him from alcohol. So I'm not sure what kind of operation that is.
His liver ended up being a football. That's what happened.
Did he remove his liver?
Well, he probably got really sick, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta come get your dad because your dad's really sick
because he's drunk.
He's gotta get an operation." And then
he dies.
So the paramedic or the doctor, whoever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I know it's supposed to be a sad moment, but he kind of comes out and he's just like. Look at him. He's like, I know. He's just I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. The way his hands are drawn, he's just like, meh, it was gonna happen.
He's like, meh, tried. It's a pretty rough scene, but I'm saying they could have did this paramedic a bit better. I'm sorry.
No, they could have. I mean, he just doesn't seem to care at all about the fact that this girl who literally has nobody in the world, her mom is dead and she has no one.
Yeah.
He's just literally, it's looking like he's that that little shrug emoji that you see.
Yeah.
He's just like, what are you gonna?
It's like if you they texted you how a thing went, you just get a shrug emoji.
Yeah. Or this is in the Flintstones where
it's a living.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is like.
Would it be a mastodon?
Yeah, it would be a mastodon. He's like a shower. It would be like, it's a living, and go back to doing his job.
Why? Because is that the one where Mr. Slate dies of alcohol? Fred and Barney are like, oh, gee, Fred.
Yeah, it was really, really terrible.
Oh, God. This is the worst Flintstones. Oh, God. No, not the Flintstones.
It's a very special Flintstones.
Very special Flintstones. where
it dies of alcohol abuse.
What's that fucking alien's name? The little green alien they started talking to.
Oh, I don't know. Did that happen on the Flintstones or the Jetsons?
No, that was the Flintstones. You started talking. That was a rough time for cartoons.
What, the prehistoric era, or just when the Flintstones were on TV?
Just when the Flintstones were on.
Oh, okay.
That was because they had cars, they had movie theaters.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were talking about some guy trying to draw a cartoon on a cave wall and everybody telling him it's not funny.
He's like, oh God, they're like, oog, boo.
Boo. Oog, leave now.
Oog, not funny. Oog. Internet comment. Lame.
Shrug emoji.
Dislike, 0 stars. Shrug drawing.
Just drawing it underneath his drawing, just frowns.
Anyway,
so he's dead. So Barbara has to go live with her Uncle Jim.
Oh boy.
In Gotham City. And so her friend is like, hey, I assume we made all of these dolls.
Yeah, they made these dolls. They're pretty good dolls, too.
That, are dressed up.
They made Superman Bear, and then they made Raggedy Ann, but she's Batgirl.
Yeah, and they, made clothes for them. And they were like, here, take it. And she's like, okay. And they're like, hey, you might meet Batman. And she's like, man, I might meet Batman. Something like that.
I might meet Batman.
Yeah.
You know, one time I was 9, some guy came to our school dressed as Batman.
Wow, were you like, hey, Batman?
I know, I wanted to be like, hey,
dude,
and he was an actual dick just like Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
He was just not talking. He just showed me what, and he's gonna talk to
What,
kids.
Was he drunk talking about Tom Brady?
Yes.
On some weird talk show on HBO that exists for some reason.
It's like, Batman, you're going to be on HBO tonight? He's like,
fucking
sucks. Fucking sucks.
Fucking sucks, bitches.
He gambled away my lunch money. He's like, kid, give me your lunch money. I gotta put 25 cents on red. Red 69. And then he goes up there. I'm such an idiot. Batfleck.
Batfleck.
Okay, anyway, so she runs... Okay, so we might have to kind of...
Well, I'm trying.
Okay, so, listen. Okay, so she meets Jim, and Jim's okay. Jim's like, hey, so your name is Barbara.
My wife's name
is Barbara. Now, what I don't understand is, why did they have to name her? Couldn't they just be like, my wife's name isn't Barbara. My wife's name is Denise.
I'm not
Why'd you have to
sure.
be Barbara? Because, like, well, you have to be called Babs. And
I don't know. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Her name's Barbara, whatever. They had a baby named Jim Jr., and she's like, okay, come.
has Jim Jr. ever gone on to do anything?
Yeah, I think he went crazy and then started killing people.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
At least recently. I don't actually know his story, but anyway, so
Jimmy Jojo Shabadoo.
Barbara's really smart, and she likes to read all the stupid files that Jim brings home because, whatever. Why not bring?
Well, because they always watch like forensic files and stuff.
Yeah,
which is great. Which is actually
he has a mustache.
It's appropriate because Jim has a mustache. He's like, you know what? I got to see what the latest styles of mustaches are. So let's watch.
That's how guys
files.
get their mustache styles. Is they watch forensic files, and then cops are like, "Good idea," and then they all make the same mustache.
Yeah.
So she would like read his cases, and he'd yell at her. So she would like sneak in to read them at night, and then one night, Batman comes in through the window, and he's like, "I'm Batman! Look at me, Batman!" And so he's talking to Jim, but at the same time, and Jim apparently is an idiot because he doesn't see Batman writing a note.
Writing a note, very legibly, by the way.
Yes, crumpling that note up. So here's the sound of paper being crumpled, and dropping it on Jim's floor. Like, this is Jim's house, right? And so he's like, right, crumple, throw it on the floor, and Jim doesn't notice. But luckily, Barbara sees that Batman wrote her a note that says, don't get caught, he'll get angry. Which actually sounds like a threat. Like, really terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get caught, he'll get angry. Exclamation point.
Yeah, or sounds like that. Like Jim's like horribly abusive.
Angry face emoji.
Yeah. Red face emoji.
Red face emoji. He's like, Jim, do you got any like red pens here I can use?
I gotta draw this emoji, but pretend not to notice me doing this.
Yeah, Jim, where's your crayons?
So Barbara's like, yeah, now I'm gonna start training.
Okay, here's a weird exchange in this though, where so she's like, next morning I want to start learning how to fight and blah blah blah, and so she's at the breakfast table and they're talking. It's Jim and his wife and ever, and she's like, the wife's like, you want to take lessons in what? And the woman's like, and Jim's like, well, Barb, in today's world, she just goes, no.
Yeah, but then she starts training.
And then, like, she's like, and that Saturday I started karate lessons. I'm like, but there was no, like, convinced, like...
Right, there was no, like, Jim, went to the mat for me or whatever. Nothing. It was just like, no.
Like, you literally could just cut this out.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to be there. It just, like, literally all you could take is that little narration box. This is like, I started training. Okay.
Yeah.
So she started training, and then she started, like, memorizing blueprints and, like, running track.
And she became really, really, really smart.
Really good at track and shit, and like people started to notice how good she was, so she tried to be like bad.
Yeah, she started like hanging out with like fucking Bruce Wayne Jr.
I guess
From she started hanging out with Steve Wayne, the dinosaur boy from Gotham.
Yeah, that's the clone.
The clone. She's been hanging out with him. They're going to see bare naked ladies in Gotham, or fucking whatever, or listen to whatever bands.
What was Lori Petty's band's name in Gotham?
Yeah, they're going to that club.
Yeah,
which Jim goes to every night just to get the crowd surfed. He's like,
arrest anybody who dares to mosh. I love that episode was so dumb because he arrested Lori Petty.
I like that episode. No, all the
episodes are dumb, but that one especially because they arrested Lori Petty for playing music that caused a crowd to mosh.
Yeah,
and there's literally no reason for that.
There's literally no reason. Like, people start moshing and Jim starts punching. He's like one of those assholes who doesn't know what's going on in a mosh pit. He's never been to a mosh pit.
He doesn't even try to get out of the pit.
So it's like, it's kind of like...
He just starts fucking punching.
Because I went to him a few times, I had friends that'd be like, oh, is that what you do in a mosh pit? You punch each other in the face? I'm like, no! That's not what you do.
That's not how you mosh.
That's not how you mosh. And Jim's like, punch, fist.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm arresting everybody for doing what you do at concerts. Moshing is not illegal.
Yeah. So anyway, so she starts...
I would have to say, can I just point one thing out that I really dislike about this?
Oh, okay.
So, like, yes, Barbara's doing all this training, and isn't it awesome that she's, like, really trying to, like, make herself, a crime fighter or whatever. But, like, it also completely disregards the natural talent one must have for all of these things to be really good at them.
Yeah.
Like... She's like, I got so fast. I was like outrunning everybody. I'm like,
I outran a boy.
Aren't you? Yeah, and people made fun of me for outrunning boys. I'm like, but yeah, aren't you really glad that you were like naturally good at that? Because there's people who train to run their whole lives and will never be that fast.
They'll never outrun a boy.
Yeah, they'll never outrun that boy. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the thing that really bugs me about like this or about like Batman, because everybody's like, well, Batman's just like human potential doing good. I'm like, yeah, but you're ignoring like the extreme genetic gifts that Bruce Wayne has.
Yeah.
The athletic talent. Like, all right, let's say, John Elway has a really fucking good arm, right? But he's not the fastest guy on the team. He's not the most agile guy on the team.
Let's put it this way. I'll use a better example.
On the team.
I'll use a better example for anybody that actually watched football in the 80s. Bernie Kosar was a pretty average quarterback, and if you lived in Cleveland, you think he was the best, but he was the slowest man I've ever seen, and he would not be a good Batman.
Well, I mean,
by any means.
That's kind of the thing. It's kind of like, yeah, Michael Jordan, great fucking basketball player, shitty fucking baseball player.
Yeah.
Right? And like, just because like...
So you're trying to say that Batman would be really good at baseball and basketball if he decided to play?
Well, that's the thing. He's apparently the best athlete.
Can he take it to the hole?
Yes, Batman's always taking it to the hole.
Oh, he's taking it to the hole. He's taking it to the hole, all right.
In all sorts of ways.
Taking it to all the socialite holes.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, everybody. You know what? Co-worker and friend, you're right.
There is a lot of swearing in the show. But I mean, like, yeah, seriously, it's just like, just because you're like really good at like running doesn't mean you're a good gymnast.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have good aim or something. You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of, all this sort of stuff always like overlooks the natural talent that one has to have to be really good at all this shit.
Yeah, she just has to be like worse, but she has to like decide to get bad at it. And so she starts like hiding her. Actually, I like the way one way she's like, I start like pretending I'm not doing as much work because I start reading.
Because I'm reading Dune.
Because I'm reading Dune and I'm hiding my physics books with Dune. I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
That Dune book looks awfully thin, by the way, which it is not.
No, Dune is gigantic. And yeah, so then she's like, oh, and then I started dressing like a dork. So people wouldn't look at me and boys wouldn't want to date me. I'm like, okay.
Started dressing like Hillary Clinton.
She did. She's wearing pantsuits.
Pants!
She's 16. She's walking around in fucking Hillary Clinton pantsuits.
Yeah, well, it's the 80s.
I frown upon pantsuits. I really, I get it. I guess, like, there are things women should wear. But I am old, and I have never owned a pantsuit.
No.
Nor do I plan.
You wouldn't look right in a pantsuit.
I think I would look fucking stupid in a pantsuit.
No, you wouldn't look right in one.
No.
Your body does not beckon the pantsuit.
No, it does not. I would just look like a box. Like a pastel-covered box.
Ugh.
So be like, look at that giant lilac crayon walking around.
You should be thankful. You should be thankful you were born in this generation.
I know, right? How horrible is that?
So apparently she becomes a congresswoman.
Yeah, so I didn't get this. So, like, she graduated high school early. Mm-hmm. She got a degree in library sciences and, a master's degree, too. Then...
Oh, no, wait, we didn't get there.
She hasn't become a congresswoman yet. So then, after all that, her dad's like, come to my masquerade ball, because everybody goes to fucking masquerade balls and these things. And she's like, okay, I'm going to dress just like... Batgirl, who doesn't exist, by the way. She's like, this is the perfect Batgirl costume. I made it perfectly. And I'm like,
because she's the only one that knows of it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's always perfect if you're the one who fucking created it.
Yeah.
Obviously. So then she's like driving to the thing, and she sees Bruce Wayne getting hassled by goons.
Killer Moth, it looks like. It's Killer Moth.
Okay, so Killer Moth.
Or a number of Killer Moths.
Many Killer Moths.
Apparently they jizz on his car, too.
Yeah, it's like Miller Moths for anybody who from the West there.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so she saves him, and Bruce Wayne runs away, and then Batman appears, and he's like, meh!
Yeah,
she's like, I'm Batgirl, and he's like, fucking steal my gig, and she's like, why are you being so mean to me? And then she, like, leaves.
Ugh.
And
so then she runs for Congress.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I'm not going to go to this masquerade ball. I'm going to be Batgirl, and I'm going to be a congresswoman, so Batgirl can go all over the world. Which I'm like, okay.
It's like congressmen don't go all over the world. They kind of stay in the United States.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, how are you defending Gotham if you're in D.C.? But whatever. So...
And she's like, oh, man, my life was weird. I
got eaten by a big green thing.
No, she apparently got turned into half snake.
Oh, is that...
She's like impersonated, mind wiped. She get mind wiped.
Yeah.
Impersonated, and then turned into a snake.
I thought she was getting eaten by a snake.
I've never read that. And then also, apparently, she had a thing for Robin.
Well, yeah. That's the whole thing. Like, you know...
But he was so young.
They're the same age.
Batman was always on my mind.
See, that's what I don't get. Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson have always had a thing. Like, for her to be like, he was too young for me, I'm like, since fucking when? You guys are like the same age.
Yeah. So apparently she has it out for this one guy here. And
so she catches him, and she's like, wait, it's just a child.
Oh, yeah.
He's about the same age as I was when I started training, so he's going to give me this book, whatever the fuck this book is.
He stole a book, he didn't realize it was expensive, and she's like, well, it's priceless.
Give back.
And like, don't be an asshole next time, I'm going to take this book.
And he's like, okay.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's Batgirl's origin, guys.
Batgirl.
She went crazy, dressed up like a
childhood. I don't think she's went crazy, she's been crazy.
Oh, she's been crazy. And then she learned how to exercise.
Yeah, good job.
And she beat boys, and Batman was like,
really
what
fast,
the fuck?
And Batman was like,
so we got this next one. So there's the Dr. Mid-Nite.
Yep.
Portion of this, because they do two.
And this one's adapted from, like, the one that, I think it says, like...
It's adapted from All-American Comics number 25, from, like, 1941. So it's basically a retelling. So basically, Dr. Mid-Nite is Charles McNider. He...
Very blonde man.
Very blonde, very handsome, and he's in his lab when he's working on something very important.
And he has a thing for a blonde nurse who, I'm not exactly sure what she does besides wear a nurse's uniform.
Yeah, she doesn't really
She's basically his assistant. She's not a nurse.
She isn't doing any nursing.
Nope. So he's in his lab and this police guy comes, he's like, oh my god, Dr. Mid-Nite, or whatever your fucking name is, Guy. Some dude's been shot, and instead of us taking him to the hospital where he can be treated, how about you come over to his house? And he's like, alright.
He's like, a man is dying. I'm like,
he's like,
yeah.
A man is dying, and we didn't bother taking him to the hospital. We came here instead. So could we drive back to that guy's house? And he's like, sure,
stupid.
Sounds like a great idea. So he like runs and he's like in super shape because he plays tennis or whatever. So he like runs up 5 flights of stairs. He's like, yeah. And so he helps the guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna live! Isn't that great?
You're gonna live because I just did some random surgery on you in a bed without any tools.
Without any tools,
because you've been shot.
Nothing is sterilized. It's fine. So like, they're like, there's a cop outside on your fire escape. There's a cop at your door. Don't worry about it. This mob boss.
Because basically he's a mob guy, and he's supposed to squeal on his mob boss, and the mob boss is like, nobody's gonna squeal on me.
Right.
So blah blah blah. And,
and so Maroni climbs up.
Well, it's not Maroni. It's
one of his goons climbs up the fire escape and like, I like this because he like stabs the fuck out of a cop.
Well, he's like climbing up the fire escape, and I don't understand how this cop
how he doesn't notice.
Yeah,
fire escapes are noisy.
Yeah,
just like clunk, 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 and they shake. You gotta make it. You would absolutely hear that guy.
And this guy's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Hey, copper!" And he just stabs him, and there's blood, meat, and everything everywhere. And then he throws a grenade, the biggest grenade ever.
That is it looks like a shoe.
He throws a shoe grenade.
It's the shoe bomber before the shoe bomber. No. So he like throws the grenade in there, and it explodes. And Dr. Mid-Nite gets an eye full of glass. And then they finally call the ambulance, because everybody else is dead except Dr. Mid-Nite. And apparently Dr. Mid-Nite has enough money to travel in an ambulance, because those other people were poor.
I was saying, the other thing, why did they get
fuck them?
Well, it's also another one thing, so again, with the uncaring paramedics, where they're like, he's like, hey, isn't that Dr. blah blah McNider? He's like, he was working on some service. Like, he ain't gonna be working on nothing for a while.
No more. Yeah, I love how now I was like, why didn't you guys show up before? But okay, whatever. So they put him in the ambulance, take him there, and
so he's in the hospital, and basically he goes and says, So he tells his lady,
his nurse assistant,
his
because
nurse,
they have like a thing,
but
like it's an unspoken thing. Like she loves him, and he's too much like science for them to actually have sex. So I don't know. She just has weird hair and very long skirts. Yeah, and so basically he's like, look.
Since I'm blind, you're gonna like take down like my thoughts on crime.
You're not actually a nurse; you're an assistant.
You're an assistant.
And she's like, "Oh, did I mention I'm a good typist?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're an assistant. I hope you would be."
I hope you gotta keep all his medical records and shit straight. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I hired you because you could type, lady."
Pretty much. So
you think I just hired you because you're some woman I thought that I wanted to bone? You're correct, but I also found out that you're a good typist. It's a typist/bone
/nurse. Who basically all you do is wear the uniform. I don't think you do any actual nursing. But he's like, "You're gonna take
typist,
dear nurse typist. I'm gonna say things for these articles, and you're gonna write them down."
And all he's writing, it's basically just says criminals are or gangsters are cowards, and he says a bunch of stuff in these articles, and like this Maroney guy,
the mob angry.
Maroney gets really mad. So this is also the Maroney from Gotham.
Yeah,
that's not, but might as well be.
Sure.
And he gets all flipped out. He's like, "No, we can't have this. We got to kill him."
And they're like, "Dude, it's just a fucking story." But he's like, "Whatever." And so then, like, at a very thundery night, he's punching a punching bag while nurse typist is taking all of the notes.
Yeah.
And she, like, every time they draw her, she's crying, by the way. Apparently
she's crying a lot. It's like X-Men Apocalypse or some shit.
Yeah, she's constantly crying because I guess he can't see her.
He can't see how beautiful she is, but he's so brave.
Like, he won't have...
He is. I mean, he's doing pretty good. Yeah, he's doing pretty good for a blind guy who just had a bunch of glass shoved in his eyeballs.
Yeah. So he's like...
So
he's like, "Man, I'm just very active at night." Blah, blah, blah. And so then he's home on this very thundery night, and all of a sudden an owl, like, crashes through his window, so it's like Batman, but it's with an owl. And he is able to see this owl. And then he's like, "Oh my god, I can see!" So he goes to turn on the light, and he can't see anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait." So he turns it off, and he's like, "Whoa, I can see in the dark."
Right.
Because that's what glass does.
And he calls so apparently he's also a veterinarian, because apparently this owl who flies through the window, he's like, "Well, I fixed him up," and I'm like,
I don't know what's wrong with him. He seems fine.
Well, he flew through a window. He had glass in his beak.
Oh no, that's sad.
And he named him Hootie.
Okay.
Calls him Hootie because he's just sitting there. The owl's just sitting there going, "Hoo, hoo."
I assumed the first thing I thought of was Hootie and the Blowfish. So he's got a buddy who is from that band.
Yeah, it's Hootie. It's Hootie. It's Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Darius Rucker jumped through his window at night. And he just went. He went. He's like, "Can you help me like do science?" He's like, "Hold my hand." And which you know what? I'm on board with that.
Sure, yeah.
I'm on board if they want to retcon his origins for Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker jumps through a window and he calls him Hootie.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Because fucking Hootie and the Blowfish. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyways,
anyway,
they're a good band. So anyways, Maroney's, Jesus Christ, it's taken on forever. Yeah. Maroney's fucking people up. Meanwhile, Dr. Mid-Niter, Dr. Mid-Nite is like trying on these different glasses because he needs to get the glasses to be dark so he can see at night.
Right.
But he can't see during the day.
And he finally fixes them, and now he can see.
And then also he's like, "Well, not much for gadgets, but now I worked on some blackout bombs." Again, with the natural ability.
Uh-huh.
It's like, "Oh, I just happen to know how to do this sort of science, too."
Right, of course. Sure, and a veterinarian, and a guy who fixes bullet wounds, and a humanitarian, and, whatever. So he's like, "Oh, man, this is great." So he's like, "I better put together a costume and go take down the mob."
So, okay, this is also the part, too, where they attack this store owner, and he's... Because, he's supposed to snitch, but he gets injured, and apparently in the news, they talk about how he's going to be operated on tonight, and it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like operations and stuff,
yeah.
Making this big fucking deal.
I do like this where, so he puts together, this costume to go, do things, and he pats the owl, and he goes, pat, pat, and the owl goes, "Whoo!" And he's like, "All right, I'm going," and the owl's like, "I'm coming with you."
Well, no, what he needs to do is he needs to make sure that the operation is a success because the mob's gonna fuck with him.
Right.
fuck with this guy.
And he's like, all right, Hootie, let's go. So, like, Hootie starts, like, swooping down in front of him. And, like, all I can imagine is, like, what if you're just, like, walking down the street and then it's like, oh my god, it's all dark. Dr. Mid-Nite's here. And then all of a sudden you just, like, hear, hold my hand. And you're like, oh, fuck, Hootie the Blowfish is also here.
It's
with
like
Dr. Mid-Nite.
It's like, oh, you just ran into that woman. She's on the ground. Let her cry. So does this owl just only sing Hootie and the Blowfish lyrics?
Yes.
'Cause he's also a parrot?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I was actually just imagining Darius Rucker just, like, following behind Dr. Mid-Nite. Just, like,
with a guitar and a baseball hat?
Yeah, with an acoustic guitar, and he's like, there's nothing I can do, only want to be with you. Like, that's how you know that Dr. Mid-Nite is coming.
You and me come from different worlds. Like, Earth 2 Batman's like, it's true! I come from a different world.
Girls. Sometimes you're crazy. And they're like, god damn it, not again, here he comes. They're like, you know what?
He just gets murdered because fucking Hootie won't shut up.
Well, that's the thing. Dr. Mid-Nite's like, will you shut up? He's like, no.
He's like, no, I can't.
Lucky. And then, like, all the criminals are like, god fucking damn it. Every single time Dr. Mid-Nite shows up, this guy, and I got all the stupid songs stuck in my head, so I'm stuck in jail singing Hootie and the Blowfish, and I just get my ass
Hootie and the Blowfish would
time.
actually be great, is a great choice because they also covered 5440's I Will Be Blind. I Go Blind.
Oh yeah?
Which it's actually a dope song. But so I mean they're kind of I think you know what? They pair up very great with
what is Hootie and the Blowfish doing these days?
Oh, they're doing fine. Darius Rucker is like a very successful like country artist.
Oh,
Like he put out like one album and it just did so like it was one of the things where it's just like, oh, he's in the country and he just put it out and everybody was, and it just caught on really well and he's doing quite well. And I don't know if the rest of Hootie's doing what the band is doing anything, but I'm assuming he could just be like, hey, Hootie, come on, band, let's go.
Let's go play this state fair with Brooke Hogan.
Yeah. So, Brooke Hogan's taking Suckle Bill because Hootie's stepping it up. You got Dr. Mid-Nite on stage playing piano.
So anyway, like, Dr. Mid-Nite shows up.
So what happens is, so basically, Dr. Mid-Nite, he finds out so basically, he finds out that Dr. Mid-Nite...
I don't really know what happens here.
Okay, so basically, they find that the guy finds out, the Maroney finds out that this guy is alive.
Yeah.
And he's like, we gotta make... And he's like, the newspaper is like, he's operated on tonight. And he's like, because that's what they do. In the back in the day, it's like, well, we gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, you know what? You better go and, like, kill this guy or shut off the lights and make sure they can't do anything. Go pull out the fuses and stuff. And it's funny because then, like, the doctors are sitting here and they're like, it's like, oh, if only Dr. McNider could have been here, he could have did this operation because he was so good. And
right.
Dr. Barnes is like, this nurse is like, you'll do fine, Dr. Barnes. It's like, well, what if something gets ruined? And it's like, well, what if something goes wrong? I'll be ruined. And then the other guy in the thing, he's like, and also the patient's going to be dead. And he's like, oh, yeah, that too.
He's like, oh, my career will be ruined. Oh, and that guy will be dead? But whatever.
It
doesn't matter that guy's going to die.
Paramedics in this book.
Doctors and paramedics, they're awful.
Pieces of shit.
They're terrible. They're just like, well, I mean, I'm supposed to save lives, but really I'm here for me.
And then the lights go out, and he gives this very, like exasperated look with his eyes as doctor. He's kind of like with his mask on. He's just like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this was about me, and now it's not about me anymore. Now I'm sad.
Yeah.
And then,
so Dr. Mid-Nite shows up, and he's like, haha, and apparently he's got to do the Bruce Wayne Batman thing.
Oh, yeah. He lowers his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he shows up.
I'm assuming he sounds like Christian Bale right now.
And then they just let this random person who they don't know is Dr. McNider.
Yeah.
He shows up.
This is a random dude who literally just jumped in the window.
He jumped in the window.
Like, I'm going to do surgery now. And they're like, all right.
He's like, I could do it.
So do you think it sounds like Christian Bale singing Hootie and the Blowfish lyrics? You and me, we come from different worlds. Like something like that?
Yeah, the Batman. Actually, I imagine it's Bane singing.
Oh, you and me.
You and me.
We come from different worlds, Mr. Wade.
Mr. Wade, I was born in the darkness.
Oh, I am operating in the darkness, Mr. Wayne.
Operating in the... Yeah.
Anyway, so he operates and everybody lives.
Everybody lives, and apparently this guy was waiting for over the radio to find out somebody died. After his surgery. It was like, Jesus Christ. What fucking...
This guy was like...
Was there nothing on the radio back then?
The mayor or something.
Yeah, it was it was some guy that worked at a shop.
He was just like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're not going to get that update.
And so basically, Dr. Mid-Nite shows up at Maroney's hideout and shuts off the dark lights in there. He blows some fuses, and he basically whips the gang's ass, and then manages to
save people. Oh no, he gets enough evidence to put Maroney away.
He just looks at some papers. He's like, "Oh, what do we have here? Papers? Oh, this has papers and says that he's guilty."
Yeah. Okay. Well, this. It
wasn't when he's looking at paper. It just says, "I killed people."
Yeah,
signed
that's what it says.
Maroney.
Yeah, it's just like, "Hey, I love to kill. Bang, bang, bang. This is the list of people I've killed and when. Love, Maroney." And he's like, "Oh, I'll give this to the police." And so, now we cut back to nurse typist, and he's just sitting there. So I don't know if this is his house.
No, he's just back home, and he's just like, she's like, "Hey, the trial's gonna start."
All she does is read this newspaper, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's blind. He can't read it.
She's like, "I'm gonna read this to you in a sexy voice, and then maybe you will have sex with me." And he's like, "No, Justice."
Also, there's a ghost of me.
Yeah, there's also a ghost of me, looking like it's gonna punch me in the head.
Yes.
Floating over me. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk about Dr. Mid-Niter in my column." The end.
All right. Well, that's it for Dr. Mid-Nite and Batgirl's Origins. In Secret Origins number 20. I didn't even announce what it was from.
Oh, yeah.
I should read that. Yeah. Guys, it was Secret Origins number 20 from November 1987. Okay? And that's it for this book. I guess, would you read the next issue of Secret Origins?
Oh, I'm sure I probably would.
Secret Origins are fun.
Yeah.
I like origin stories.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of these. They're dope. So, that's it. I would hope that in the next issue, the paramedics and stuff are nicer.
I would hope so.
The people in the medical profession.
They're not complete dicks to people who are just losing everything.
Yeah, it's just fucking shitty, man.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with the next book.
Hey, hi, how are you? I'm Jamie Flam, and I'm the artistic director of the Hollywood Improv. Basically, that means I'm the one responsible for booking comedians, producing shows, and making sure every night at the club is magical. You might even call me the gatekeeper. Okay, so not really, but maybe, I don't know. Outside of my job at the Improv, I also perform and write comedy, which means I sit in front of many gatekeepers myself. It's an interesting dynamic, but it's helped me learn a lot as well. Now I host a podcast about it. Each week I talk with bookers, producers, decision makers, performers, and more.
Hey, this is Cole Stratton.
This is Janet Varney.
This is Troy Conrad.
This is Todd Glass, and you're listening to Gatekeeper.
It's an inside look at the art of saying yes and no. Also, there are sound effects. Be sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can find more info at SideshowNetwork.tv.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever here on Sideshow Network. And thank you for sticking. You know what? Thank you, listeners.
Yes, for putting up with us.
For putting up with almost an hour of us making Hootie and the Blowfish jokes.
Right.
And talking about Cinemax.
Because that's topical.
But it's our podcast.
There is no more topical reference than a Hootie and the Blowfish reference.
This is our podcast, and this is how we do. And it just feels right. And thank you for listening. We really appreciate it.
We do.
Okay. So let's talk about our next book. It is Nova.
The Man Called Nova.
If I get fancy. The Man Called Nova. So it's Nova, number 15, from November 1977. So it's the Richard Rider Nova. It's very early in his existence. On the cover, we have Spider-Man, the Hulk, Iron Man, and Captain America. Looks like they're all slapping around Nova in the middle of a baseball game.
Yes. So Nova's having a hard day.
Yeah.
And the way it looks, it actually looks like Spider-Man just threw Nova into the Hulk's fist.
Pretty much.
But that's not what just happened.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, so it's a mess going on here. And so the story is called The Fury Before the Storm.
Yes.
So, and basically we start off with Nova and Crime Buster, who is somebody from the planet Xandar, who is like a human guy, and he doesn't really have any powers, like actual powers.
So I have a question. If you are from another planet, why would you choose to come to our planet?
I don't know.
To fight crime.
I think maybe...
Does your planet not have crime?
You know what? I'm not exactly sure what this guy's Crime Buster's deal is. Like, I know he's
like, oh man, there's no crime on my planet. Let's go bust some Earth heads.
Maybe he was sent there because he is from Xandar.
They looked into a mirror and they were like, they need help.
Yeah,
Someone go help those fucking idiots on that planet Earth.
Well, no, maybe he was sent to go help, Richard Rider and everything, and so here he is.
Okay.
And so they're like, "Oh man, crime!" I was like, "Oh, let's go get it."
And Nova's like, "Man, I'm really glad I saw you because I would never found that guy or whatever."
Yeah.
And so they see some dudes doing some bad shit, so they bust them.
Yeah, super purple dudes, by the way.
Super purple dudes, and like one guy's like, "Where'd you come from?" And Nova,
it's like they're fighting like a bunch of grimaces.
Yeah, they're fighting grimaces, because they're trying to steal the hamburgers.
Grimace didn't steal hamburgers. Grimace just sat there and went, "You never ate anything."
Well,
I don't know. I got so big.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe he wanted to steal the hamburgers' hamburgers.
Oh, maybe was that?
Maybe
Grimace,
he's starving. Maybe after this, because
Grimace ain't starving.
What if he is starving? What if he's finally whittling away to nothing? And if he doesn't get any hamburgers, he will die.
Is that a
chicken
thing?
nuggets?
Is Grimace still around?
I assume Grimace is dead.
Did they have a proper R.I.P. Grimace Happy Meal?
They should.
Right.
Why don't they have a proper R.I.P. all of them? I don't even know when the rest of them
a Happy
are.
Meal that kind of looks like a tombstone, and you open it up, there's like a little Grimace. It says R.I.P. Grimace.
What, your little right
next to your apple slices and your little junior cheeseburger, whatever the fuck they have.
Is it like a toy, like a little plastic R.I.P. Grimace toy, and like if you push it, he like pops out of the coffin and he goes back in.
Well, so they had that for all of them. You think, like for the birdie and for Mayor McCheese?
Oh, Mayor McCheese. Well, so when
the hamburger was different. Hamburger became a hipster.
Oh yeah, no, he totally did.
Grimace did not become a sexy hipster. Grimace
is gone.
Grimace just died.
All the rest of them died. I think the only ones left are Hamburger.
Did their planet explode?
Yes, the Hamburglar and Ronald are the only ones left.
Oh, okay. Did they both get away and they're like, it's like, we'll remake your image?
Yeah, they're like, this is it. Everyone died. It was a horrible train accident, let's go with.
A train? A train that blew up the planet?
Yeah, it was the McDonald's train.
Oh, that'd be a great movie. The Train That Blew Up the Planet, starring Grimace and Hipster McBurger.
When I was a kid... This is before McPlay places were inside. There was a playground outside of the local McDonald's.
Yeah, don't play at McDonald's, guys.
And they had a Grimace.
Don't eat at McDonald's.
But it was basically, it had like a Grimace head, but it was like bars. So you had to go in it, you had to go shake, 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 shake. And once they got rid of that, some church bought it. So there's like a church in my hometown that has like a Grimace plaything just like sitting outside of their church. It's kind of fucked up looking.
Maybe they could make it into like...
Well, I think if you put a wig on it, you can call it Jesus.
You could. Just give him a little beard, paint him white.
Just give him a robe.
Give him...
And then he goes shake, shake, shake with all the children inside.
You are one. Shake.
Thank you, Jesus. Shake, 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 shake.
Kurt Warner goes in there every day. All right, so
they're oh, by the way, Nova says stupid shit because
he's a kid. He's
17 years old. Don't forget that 17 fucking years old. Which I hate any of those. I'm a teenage superhero. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
If you're not an adult, I don't want to talk to you or see you, whatever. So like, but he's like, where'd you guys come from? And Nova's like, if your mama didn't tell you, I'm sure not gonna. And I'm
what he does is
a sex joke, you fucking dick.
Well. He's like Okay, so
He's
he gets
an
like
idiot.
so he gets stuck by like a truck, and he's trying to like speed up, but he's
trying to fly, but he doesn't have enough room to like
fly hard.
away because I think he has to run.
And then he starts like bashing this building with his elbows.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh man, it's working!" Because things are like rocks are falling on this truck, and it's just like destroying it.
Like,
He's like, "Yeah, this is great."
He's just destroying this fucking town, this workplace.
I like where he's like, "Man, I'm not a novice anymore. I can think my way out of this stuff." I'm like, "You couldn't just run away?" Like,
yeah, he's kind of shitty.
you're an idiot. But apparently, he's also failing high school. So,
Oh yeah. I like he makes sure.
he's taking a bath.
He makes sure. What, like an actual bath?
Well, he does take an actual bath.
Oh, that's right.
But he's taking a bath, and just like in high school.
He's taking a bath in stupidity.
Yeah, he is. He's just like bathing in it.
It's funny because he's just like, he spends most of his time talking about how dumb he is. He's like, I really failed school, guys.
He's like, I'm a fucking moron, guys, but I'm still a hero. Woo, Nova!
I'm hanging out there in the bleachers, smoking paint. Why am I failing school? I'm Nova.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Like, yeah. Wisecracking teenage boys are just
Oh.
not on my like list.
Yeah,
of
anyways.
superhero things.
So Crime Buster, like, beams something to some guy's head.
Yeah, he like hypnotizes them and like makes them give information about something. And so
No.
Crime Buster's like, alright, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad I got this information. Nova, you hang out with these grimaces and wait for the cops. I'm gone. And Nova's like, okay, I guess so. And like, so then there's like this other guy who kind of looks like Black Mask, but he's not, just the way he's drawn.
Well, it's just his mask is
I
really
know.
tight.
Yeah, so
It's
it looks
really-
like Black Mask, and he's like, oh good, now I have to go over to this place. So he like breaks in.
Yeah, this guy just breaks in, and he's apparently his brother, you know.
Well, apparently he's really bad at breaking in because he like triggers the alarm, and Nova's like, "Oh, more crime! I'll make sure these guys stay here by breaking all these pipes and like cementing them to the ground or
Yeah,
something."
he faps it down. It's just fap.
Yeah, fap. And then he like just busts through a window.
Yeah, he's just like a rampaging idiot.
Yeah, and
He busts through the window.
just busted everything.
And he starts slapping around this guy. And
Slapping around
apparently it's this
desks.
guy, Mike Burley, who's like, I think he's a friend of his?
They go to school together.
Oh, they go to school, yeah. So everybody's like, school.
He's like, it's you. He's like, no, you don't understand. Like, my brother. And then so he, like, somersaults out the window, and Nova's like, "Grr.
Well, he
better go
doesn't
home."
look like he somersaults. Looks like he falls and like nearly kills himself. He's like, I'm an athlete. Ah! Like, he looks like he
Yeah,
has.
he does. It looks like he just, like...
It's like he knocks his back on the
It really
thing.
looks like he just $1 million babied himself. It's just, ah!
You know what it looks like? It's like you're okay in Arrested Development, where there's a one where Tobias becomes Mrs. Featherbottom or whatever, and she's like, "I'm Sherry Poppins," and she jumps off like a ledge with like an umbrella and just fucking crashes into a table. That's what this looks like. Like, this guy is just like, he has the grace of like fucking if the Big Show was like doing the same move, he'd be like, I'm a gymnast. Plop. I mean,
Pretty much.
if I was doing it, this is what I would look like.
Just,
If I was like, I'm a gymnast, I would just look like a fucking flying moose fish. Like, what is that? What is that gelatinous steak doing?
What did that oaf man just do? And then you're just like mangled.
You know, it just reminds me of Brian Posehn told the story of when he was 18.
Oh no.
Him and his friends, he was kind of like a burnout bro. He told us on Marin.
Okay.
He was a burnout bro, and Brian Posehn is a giant man.
Yeah,
He's
he's
always
huge.
been a giant man. Apparently, him and his friends were doing like just going like fucking around, and they're on a beach, and they went up on like a lifeguard station.
I know this is gonna be bad.
And they were jumping off, and
Oh, God.
Brian Posehn, being the oafish giant
like-
man he is,
He's like 6 something. He's insanely big.
jumped off and fucked up his back really bad.
Yeah.
Like, for, like, he was out of commission for a while and stuff in his life, and it really messed up with his life at that time because he was like super young.
Yeah.
It looks I would imagine it looks just like, and I've always pictured in my head what it would look like if Brian Posehn is like, "Argh!" like jumping off.
Carry that around until we meet Brian Posehn and just be like, is this what it looked like when you fucked up your back? And he'd be like, yes.
That's what it looks like.
Can you sign this?
Can you sign this? Sign this with the noise that you made when you jumped off. Argh! Brian was saying. Anyway, so Nova's like, fuck, whatever. So he goes home and he's taking a shower.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm sorry, but
this is dumb.
Well, okay, so his little brother, who
looks 50.
His little brother. Okay, I kind of say no. I'm trying not to how to phrase this properly. This looks like two old lesbians living with each other because his brother just looks like. He's like, his brother's like, I'd like to speak with you when you're done. Make yourself squeaky clean. And she's
or old men, like two old gay guys.
Okay, you know what this is? This is Oh Hello. This is Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, but being young. You know what? I might take a picture of this and be like,
tag them.
I might be like, look, guys, I think this is the young years.
Yeah,
it's George St. Giegland and Gil Faison.
So he's like, oh, I want to talk to you when you're done being clean. He's like, what's up, little brother? I'm sorry. I have siblings. One. I have never in my life called my sister little sister.
Nor have I called my brother little brother. I've never walked
up there and been like, what's up, little sister?
Nor have I ever tried to talk with them when they're in the shower.
Yeah, no.
Like to be like, open up the shower, just kind of stare in kind of blandly.
Like staring at them.
I need to talk to you.
Hey, can we talk? Like, instead, not just opening the door of the bathroom and saying like, "Hey, can we talk when you're done?" No, he opens the thing and he's looking in the shower to tell his brother that they need to talk.
He's like, someone steal your transistors, Bobby, you fucking nerd.
Yeah, he's like, no, man, I think something's wrong with Dad because
Dad's doing well, but Dad doesn't have a job, and Dad's doing crazy shit with the mob.
Yeah, Dad's run into some hard times. So he's
just stupid around Dad's shit.
He's coming home at all hours of the night, which usually means mistress. But no, not this world. This means he's paying the mortgage for 4 full months in cash, and then leaving again or whatever.
So then we get Dad, and Dad's with the mob.
And Dad looks like a fucking professor.
I'm trying to think who Dad looks like. Dad looks like I'm trying to think. He's got a bow tie. He looks like an 80s. Like he looks like an 80s.
No. He looks. You know what he looks like? He looks like young Sean Connery.
Young hipster Sean Connery.
Yeah. So imagine Sean Connery from Indiana Jones, but like 40 years younger.
Right.
That's exactly what he looks like. He's got the glasses and the beard and the bow tie, and all you need is that fucking hat.
Right.
And he is Indiana Jones.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. You know what? You're right. Yes.
I know.
100%. Okay. You're right.
He just imagine
he's young Dr. Jones.
40 years younger.
And Richard Rider is Indiana Jones, so this is actually a prequel to that. So I'm going to let Harrison Ford know this as well.
Yeah. Get him to sign it.
It'd be great if I get him and Brian Posehn in the same room. Just be like, oh my god, this is great! I can't have you both sign this. Like, get away from why?
This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to both of us.
We're just standing right next to each other, and this idiot has a Novacom from 1977. This is a weird convention. Why did we sign up for this? Are we paid?
Why are we here?
Is that Lou Ferrigno with a Cliff Bar?
Scratching his crotch.
Scratching his balls.
In front of the children.
Hey, look, it's Adrian Curry dressed as the girl of Legend. Oh, wow. This is a great day.
My favorite part, so we did actually see Adrian Curry at Kamikaze, one of the first Kamikazes.
It was the first Kamikaze.
It was the first Kamikaze, dressed as the chick from Legend, in that black dress and the thing. But, so we're standing in line waiting for...
We were waiting for something to get to eat.
Food.
Yeah.
And it was horribly crowded, and because they only used, a postage stamp size part of the convention floor for that first fucking Kamikaze.
Yeah.
And Sean is trying to take a picture of Adam West's head.
Because Adam West is here, and Adam West, they're doing, this is when they had, I could see him.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I can see him and Burt Ward, and they're just sitting over there, signing autographs. I'm like, well, let's go take a picture from over here.
Yeah.
And I take this picture, and just as I take this picture, Adrian Curry walks by, and I get a perfect picture of Adrian Curry dressed in her Legend costume.
Yes.
And a very tiny, but just enough of a tiny speck, of Adam West's head, like his entire head, very tiny in the background.
Yes, but the thing that was funny about this is when you showed me the picture, you're like, oh my god, here. I was like, that's a really good picture of Adrian Curry, and you were like, What?
Yeah.
You didn't realize.
I didn't realize that Adrian Curry just walked by me.
You were so focused on Adam West, you did not realize that you had the perfect picture of Adrian Curry.
Yes.
And there's Adam West's very blurry face.
No, actually, it's a very clear spot of his face because you can see his head.
Oh, man.
I have to go back and look at that picture. It's a very good picture.
I'm very proud of you.
And I think Adrian Curry liked it on Twitter.
Very good.
I don't think Adam West can care, though.
I don't think Adam West has Twitter.
Adam Wee.
All right,
So basically, they're like, look,
we gave you money.
We gave you money, and you're out of debt, but now you have to do shit for us. And he's like,
now you owe the mob.
He basically owes the mob, and he's like, nah, I don't want to do it. And he's like,
I'm not going to do anything illegal, and the mob just laughs at him.
Yeah,
because they're like, we're the mob.
We're the mob, dude.
You do realize
you're the mob.
that if you
you're Dr.
make a
Jones.
deal with us, you have to do.
You're Sean Connery
thing.
from whatever. So fuck you.
Like you can't tell the mob I'm not going to do anything illegal because that's all the mob.
You can't be like, no, I don't want to do it.
You can't be like, I want to just work in your legal pizza parlor. Like it doesn't fucking work.
Can I just make some pizzas? No, you can't just make pizzas.
No, you can't fucking make pizzas.
You have guys to make pizzas.
We've got guys to make pizzas, but those guys also kill guys.
Yeah, they kill guys on the side. You ain't doing nothing. You're just wearing a bow tie.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? What are you gonna do? You gonna teach us something?
What are you gonna? What are you, my master? You got a master's degree? What are my master
You're gonna read us a story about archaeology?
What are you gonna be like? Hey, look at this sweet artifact. Look at this sweet rock I found.
I can write a good white paper on this and get you guys published. Sure. Anyway.
You could do a HuffPo interview for us?
Yeah. So they cut... So
anyway, so Richard is studying. And I like that Richard, he's got books that says literally everything made simple.
Yeah.
So he's reading, first of all, he's got chemistry made simple, Spanish made simple, and he has math made simple, but he's also reading simple math. Which I just hope he just throws that book down. It's like, math is too hard. Oh, math made simple. I don't know, maybe this will work. He's also got spelling made simple, which...
I don't even understand how that's a thing.
Well, it's like
what
cat,
is that is,
dog.
Yeah.
So what do you mean spelling made simple? He's like... He really... I'm sorry, but he needs some serious help.
Right?
He needs help.
I mean, if you need spelling made simple, like...
Breathing made simple, just...
Walking made simple.
Walking made simple. It's like, I can't put my foot in front of me.
Eating made simple. This is how, literally, 9 pages on instructions on how to chew. Up and down, and up and down, and swallow.
Open mouth. Next page, close mouth. Next page, open mouth.
Next page, close mouth.
It's just 180 pages of that.
Crush food between teeth. Open. Close.
Swallow. How do you swallow? Swallow makes simple. Shit. Where's that book? I can't swallow, guys.
Push it towards the back of your throat and hope it slides down.
He needs to be in a special school or something. I mean, look. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that I should not be making fun of him, but he sounds like he needs some serious help.
He does sound like he needs some serious academic help. And if his dad's really some sort of academic, you think he would have got him a tutor?
Well, his dad's an idiot because he's like, Mob, can I just make pizzas? He's like, fuck you. Anyway, so he's like, man, spelling made simple's tough. I'm gonna go take a break. I'm just gonna go and fly and check out shit. And then apparently he's got a radio in his helmet, and it's like, hey, something's going on at LaGuardia Airport. So I'm gonna fly over there. And...
I'm assuming that the airport scene in Civil War was taken from this comic book.
Oh yeah. And he flies over there, and just as he shows up, Iron Man starts attacking him. He's like, oh no, Iron Man. And he's like, I'm a good guy. And he's like, shut up, I'm going to kill you.
He's like, Iron Man, what the
hell, literally goes, I know who you are, just as I know I'm going to kill you. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like, wait, what's going on? And then Spider-Man shows up, and he's like, Spider-Man, we're buddies. We just, fought together, last issue.
We were just in issue number 12. And he's like, shut up.
Gonna kill you. And so then, the Hulk shows up.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and he's like, I gotta get away from this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he starts flying around.
Am I dreaming? And they're like, it's not a dream.
Yeah, Captain America shows up and he's like, it's not a dream. Here's my shield in your face.
And then they
which I'm surprised doesn't kill him because
should.
Captain America should be murdering more people with his shield. Yeah. Than he has in the past because his shield is nothing to fuck with.
Well, it's kind of the thing. Captain America shows up, and your reaction should just be like, "Oh no!" Literally, that should just be like, "I hope my will is up to date," because Captain America is going to murder me with his weird fucking shield.
Yeah. with his adamantium vibranium shield that he can throw and decapitate you with, which he has done before.
Right. And
he has murdered vampires with his shield.
Right. And so Nova's like, oh, fuck. So he, like, flies away, but then, like, the Hulk, like, smashes him into the baseball stadium, and just Shay's stadium.
So it's 10:30 at night. There's a baseball game still going on.
Yep.
Shay's packed. Stadium. Which, to be honest, I'm surprised because curfew should probably, like, it should be.
Well, it's 10:30.
It's 10:30, but it's kind of late.
No curfew yet, but it's kind of late for a packed baseball game, unless it's like a really close game.
I have many problems with this.
Oh, yeah, because and so like then they start fighting, and then like everybody shows up, and Nova's like, wait,
So they
Spider-Man and Captain America can't fly, but these guys are flying.
Yeah, because they all follow him, but they all fly in after him.
Right, and he's like, oh, so these guys must be robots, so I'm just going to kill them.
Right.
So he does. In front of an entire crowd of people.
Which, and the crowd, I'm surprised there's not more people in the crowd being like, oh my god, you're killing Spider-Man.
They don't show anybody's reaction.
There's like a Spider-Man shred his head.
Face, and like, he's killing people. He kills Captain America, he kills Iron Man, and then he like smashes Hulk to the point where it's such a huge explosion, it blows him out of the stadium, which means it must have killed about 1,500
people. Yeah, he totally murdered everybody.
He just killed everybody. And he's like, oh, well, that's
there was an apocalypse there. Yeah, I forgot kind of... Well, I like that because Hulk actually, by the time he wastes Captain America, because there's also another huge explosion when he throws Captain America and Iron Man to each other, and they explode.
Right.
And then Hulk's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then what he does is he basically, like, jumps on the Hulk, and he punches him really hard in the kidneys.
Yeah, and the Hulk explodes.
Well, it's funny because he goes, you've just been gonged, and it says Wang.
Yeah, Wang.
Which actually, it's funny because it says Wang right by Hulk's crotch.
Yeah.
So it's like, he gets wanged, and then he whams.
And it just blows Nova out of the stadium, so everybody in the stadium's probably dead. Or at least a lot of them are.
And then he knocks him out a very short distance away, so you mean to tell me that there's a kid's playground, because he lands in this playground in the jungle gym.
And then there's kids outside at 10:30 at night.
That's the thing. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so we've established at 10:30 at night, there's still a baseball game going on, and there's still kids who are pissed that they can't go on the jungle gym?
Not fucking teenagers. Not like teenagers who are like, man, we're going to sit there and drink. But like actual like small children who should be home at 10:30 at night with their parents. Nope. These kids are out, and they're mad. They're like, oh man, all the superheroes are taking shit. And then Nick Fury's like, haha, it is I, Nick Fury. I'm here to annoy the shit out of everybody.
So Nick Fury basically shows up and he's like, look, we want to know you're the real deal. So he sent over these life model decoys towards you.
And you just killed a whole bunch of people, so welcome to the event.
You just killed a whole bunch of people, but then like he's like
because if you don't kill, we don't watch it.
He says something like, hang on here, I gotta go back here because it just kind of bothered me too. He's like, normally we put them to use in our training for our agents. And he's like, you did more than fighting. You wrecked $2 million worth of hardware.
Yeah, and killed people.
Which, I mean, he should have fucking, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
There's catastrophes in the packed Shea Stadium. Whoever's playing baseball in 1977, the Mets are dead.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan is dead.
Well,
Nolan Ryan was on a mess at the time. I don't know who else on mess at the time.
Doesn't matter.
Keith Hernandez.
Those people are dead now. Because of this.
Yeah, they're dead. And Nick Fury's like, let's go away from this playground and we'll take on this helicopter. And then he shows up. And actually, speaking of Ronald McDonald, he makes this joke where he's like, because he's asking Fury all these questions, and Fury's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And like Fury's like, why are you taking me? Why did you have me explode the Hulk in the middle of Shea Stadium?
Why didn't you make me fight those guys? Why didn't you just ask me to help you?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm just a kid. Like, you know, like, you could have just had one of your agents, like, attack me or something.
Right? Like,
and not try to murder me.
Yeah, you didn't have to murder all those people.
You didn't have to send out the Hulk. I mean, if I was Captain America, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, me too.
Be like, wait a minute, the Captain America exploded in Shea Stadium?
And killed people.
And killed the 1977 New York Mets?
Yes! All of them, in front of a crowded stadium. It wasn't like this fight happened where no one else saw it. Like, there's people in that stadium who lived through this horrible explosion who can be like, yeah, it was all the superheroes and they're all dead now because they
were all murdered in front of me because they were robots, and now I don't know if I see Captain America again.
Is he going to be a robot that's going to explode and kill the rest of us? Like, what the fuck is happening?
It is an awful situation. Anyways, so Captain America, so Nova's on the whatever, the Shield Helicarrier, and he's like, whoa, this place is incredible. And like Captain America's like, yeah, we had Ronald McDonald decorated for us.
See, he had Jesus Grimace.
So he's like, yeah, and you killed Grimace earlier.
Yeah, earlier we killed all the Grimaces, and so he's like...
So we made him into a jungle gym, look.
He's like, so hey, that
we're going to put this one in Denver.
Just going to put it in a church parking lot somewhere. So, like, he's like, hey, remember your buddy from school who, like, you know, broke his back doing a Brian Posehn out of the window?
Brian Posehn.
He's like...
here's the footage of that.
It's just a Vine, just over and over.
Oh man, if Vine was around then, that's what we'd be like. We'd be nothing but watch about 6 seconds of this idiot jumping out of a window.
So he's like, yeah, well, his brother got kidnapped because he's like some sort of like science man, and now we need your help because this guy here's this picture, but everybody, the reader's not going to see the picture, but you're going to see it. This is the guy who kidnapped the guy. And he's like, all right, well, I'm here to help you.
Yeah, because we don't see who it is. I'm assuming it's...
It's like his dad. It has to be.
Or maybe it's somebody else. Because he's like, no, everybody knows about this guy.
Yeah.
So maybe it's fucking...
It's his brother.
It's his brother looking in the shower.
It's like creeping on the brother.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. And he's like, hey, brother.
It's Gil Faison.
Before you come out of there, how about this giant tuna fish sandwich?
Too much. What if it's just a plate of tuna?
Oh, God.
And it's too... I gave you too much tuna in the shower. What are you going to do?
I like the one where they give it to Henry Rollins.
That was the best because he punches the sandwich.
Which this always reminds me of that bit where Henry Rollins was talking about how he was on Sons of Anarchy. I don't remember if it was that one or another one, but he was like supposed to like throw something into a car.
No, he's supposed to throw himself into the car.
Yeah, and then like he's like, "Whoa, you're really going there." He's like, "I know, I'm doing it as hard as I can," and they're like, "No, you don't have to do it that hard."
Yeah, he was really funny. Henry Rollins does not fuck around.
No.
So when he commits to something, he's committing to it. If he's gonna punch a sandwich, he's gonna punch a sandwich.
Yeah. It's not gonna be like
Henry Rollins,
not a staged punch. He's really gonna punch it.
I don't understand how Henry Rollins does not have a role as like in some superhero movie. Right? Or something, just as something. I don't care. Just put him in there as like a reoccurring. I wish he was on Gotham. Holy shit!
Oh, that'd be so good. At least he'd be like trying.
If it was him instead of Ben Grimm, you know.
Oh yeah, that'd be so good if he was the commissioner or the chief or whatever.
Just him yelling at.
So
just him just being like, oh god. He almost got the role of Negan on Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Like that was the rumor, was that apparently when they created this character, it was based on Rollins. Yeah, Henry Rollins, and he auditioned for it, but he didn't get it. Which I don't know if I would watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Walking Dead in a long time, so whatever.
I'm one of the few people that does not care about that show.
No, it got really. My problem is like, and maybe it got better, but like I remember the first couple seasons where I was just like, so this is the farm, huh? So we're just gonna sit on this farm, huh? Like, really bored, and then like, oh, we went to the like CDC and like watch everybody take a shower, and like I was just no, I got really bored with it. Maybe it's better now, but
oh, I'm certain everybody will tell you it's better. But
I'm sure they will.
I don't need to watch
you don't understand. Walking Dead's the best thing. I'm like, okay.
Same thing with Shield. I ain't watching Shield. I ain't watching fucking that thing.
No.
I ain't doing it.
No.
Sorry, guys. I would watch Nova if it was played by Gil Faison and George St. Geegland.
The brothers.
I would watch. I would. You know what? If that was the show, I would 100% be behind it. Such a good show.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for Nova, number 15 from November 1977.
Would you read the next issue?
Of course. I like Nova.
I guess.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
I want to know who the guy is. I want to know if it's If it's his brother.
I have such a... And this is my own personal thing, and I've been this way since I was a kid. I do not like stories about children. So if you are not an adult, I don't really care. And that's my own personal thing. Again, I've been that way since I was a child.
He's not really like a kid. Like, he's not Power Pack or some shit.
He's in high school. That's just enough. That's enough. I'm like, nope. Be an adult, or don't bother me. Like, and I don't know why.
Be an adult or don't bother me.
And I've always been like that, and I don't know why. Even when I was a child myself. So that's my own personal thing. I guess I would read it, but I would be annoyed.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. You can find myself on Twitter at Angry Hero Sean, as well as Instagram, Angry Hero Sean, SHAWN. Also my Tumblr, theangryhero.tumblr.com. And
I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
And please check out SideshowNetwork.tv for all of our great shows on our network. You can also please tell a friend about our podcast, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get this podcast. Spread the word. You know, just tell a friend. That's how things happen in the podcast world. You know, people go, hey, this is really good, and then one person tells 2 people, and 2 people tell 4 people, and that's how this stuff actually works.
Yeah.
There's no science about it. Just know that we're doing our best to bring you some hot content with lots of swear. Hot takes on on stupid things that we think about comic books, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So thanks for listening, and we will see you guys again next week.
Bye.